There's only one thing better than the viral keto magic cookie. Guess what it is? Welcome to the Keto Baking Mechanic, where we create, tweak, and enhance keto and low-carb breads and baked goods. Hi, I'm Sherry Mack. You'll always get the recipe link in the description. Be sure to like the recipe. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be informed when I have other videos coming down the pike. The one thing that's better than the viral keto magic cookie, it's the viral keto magic cookie with what else? Boosted protein. Okay, first we're going to add our wet ingredients, starting with 4 egg yolks from large eggs. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to add refined coconut oil. The reason I'm choosing refined coconut oil over regular coconut oil is the recipe also includes unsweetened shredded coconut. So if you add the coconut oil and the coconut shreds, it's way too much coconut for me. You might as well call this a coconut cookie. So the refined coconut oil may not be quite as nutritious, but it also doesn't have a coconut taste. So we get the benefits of the coconut oil without all that coconut flavor, because we're going to add coconut flavor with the unsweetened shredded coconut. I'm repeating myself. Okay, so we're also going to add in some almond butter. The recipe that I've seen usually calls for butter, but butter is saturated, and when you're watching your heart health, you want to have as least amount of saturated fat and the most amount of healthy fat as you possibly can. So instead of regular butter, I'm using almond butter, and the recipe calls for nuts, so it's a perfect match. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. Okay. Okay, so the original recipe, I did some research, and the original keto magic cookie recipe seems to have derived from the Hello Dolly bar, and that has some caramel flavor to it. And I don't want to add caramel chips with the chocolate chips, so instead I'm going to use some caramel extract to get that little hint of caramel in there, and also some vanilla extract. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a stir, and then I'm going to mix it up. Okay. When I decided to make this cookie and to tweak it according to my variation, I decided to give it to my husband, Sean, to try, because he's primarily a carnivore, and every once in a while, he'll enjoy the desserts that I make. And I'll tell you about one of those at the end of the video, because you'll probably want to make that one as well. Sweet desserts that have boosted protein. That's the key. You don't want to just eat desserts for dessert's sake. You want something that's going to give you some nutrition, like protein. So anyways, I decided to give it to him to try because I'm a non-taster, so I need tons of flavor in order for something to occur for me as delicious. Too much salt, too much fat, too much whatever. If it's too much of something, I'm going to enjoy it. 1 or 2 bulbs of garlic rather than just a couple of cloves. Anyway, Sean, on the other hand, is a super taster, so he doesn't need a lot of additional stuff in order for him to enjoy it. His palate is so clean, he doesn't even eat salt. So I decided to give this to him to try. So I said, I just really want you to try this cookie. It's called the Magic Cookie, a Keto Magic Cookie. It's got boosted protein. Let me know what you think. So he sat there, and at first he hesitated because he's not 100% okay with eating outside of carnivore, but he'll do it for me. So he ate the cookie, he took a bite, and he went, yeah, it's good. That's all he said. And I went, oh, I guess I have to tweak the recipe. So I waited for a few minutes, and we were just sitting watching TV, and then he went, you know what? those cookies are effing delicious. I'm going to have 2 more. So I knew I had a hit at that point. So non-tasters like me are going to enjoy it, and super tasters are going to enjoy it. But remember, depending on the type of taster you are, you want to tweak the recipe to your needs. You also want to do your own calculations of their nutritional values, because different brands have different nutritional values. The same brand sold in Canada and the USA will have a different nutritional label because of health requirements. So do your own analysis of the nutritional label, okay? So that's what I wanted to say. Next, we're going to add our dry ingredients. First, I'm going to add the unsweetened protein isolate. By the way, this is an added ingredient. This isn't in the original recipe, but whenever I'm doing a keto sweet dessert, I always like to boost it up with some mega protein if I can, if it works. And it definitely works. I've tweaked the rest of the ingredients so that it works with the unsweetened protein isolate. Now remember, you do not have to buy the highest quality protein isolate because it's being mixed in a recipe. It's kind of like olive oil. Save your best olive oils for drizzles, but for cooking with olive oil, you don't need to use the highest end olive oil when you're cooking with them, because it's getting the baking process will reduce some of its benefits anyway. So just look for one that's unsweetened, 0 carbs, and is high in protein, as high as you can get. This is 28 grams of protein per 30 grams of protein isolate in the, what do you call it? The little scoop. Okay. So I'm just going to mix that up. Now, we're just going to mix it up a little bit, and then I'm going to start mixing it by hand with some gloves on. So we're going to do that. It looks dry, but it will come together. Then I'm going to add in there our shredded coconut. The original recipe calls for white sweetener like a monk fruit or xylitol or stevia, but I'm using the brown sugar sweetener because it has the caramel in here, and brown sugar and caramel are just natural partners. So I like to work with the brown sugar sweetener, which this one is Swerve. So we're going to mix that up. I'm also going to add in the walnut pieces, the pecan pieces, and lastly, the chocolate chips. Now, use whatever chocolate chips that you can find are as low in sugar and carbs as possible. You can get no sugar added chocolate chips in the US. Sugar-free chocolate chips in the US and Canada. We are strict about that, and it is no sugar added only. Unless they're American ones that somehow come in and they're super expensive, all of our products are no sugar added. You can also use unsweetened chocolate chips, whatever you prefer. So we're just going to add those in. And now I'm going to put on a pair of gloves. Okay, so I've got the gloves on, and we're going to mix this together. And we want it to be able to stick together as a whole loaf of dough, even if it seems a little bit dry. Keep working with it, and then if need, add some more coconut oil. But you can see it's starting to pull together into a dough. We just got to get all those egg yolks. I forgot the baking powder. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in and work that around as well. Okay, so I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And now I'm going to first cut the dough in half. And then I want to get out 6 pieces from each half. So I'm just going to put them on here for now. And I just take off a chunk. Roll it into a ball. We can measure them afterwards, their size. We just want to get 6 pieces out of this. We can always shift their sizes around in a minute. And I'm just going to press them down into cookies. And so now for decoration, I'm just going to add a couple more pecans on the top just to give it some texture. Okay, and for the final stage, I'm just going to reshape them a little bit so they're nice and round. Now they're going to go into the oven for 8 minutes. Say 7 to 8 minutes. You want to make sure that the edges are golden. They're going to be soft when they come in out, but that's okay because we'll take them off the tray after they cool, set them into the refrigerator, and they're going to be absolutely delicious.
This video is brought to you by Sinless Sourdough, where ancient art meets low-carb science. I own Sinless Sourdough. I produce a line of global heritage, low-carb, dehydrated sourdough starters. They are authentic sourdough, scientifically validated, and you bring them to life with low-carb ingredients. When you purchase this starter, shipping is included. It's Canadian, $19.99 Canadian, and it's shipped to your door. And then with the starter, you get your you get your starter guide sent to you in the mail, along with a variety of keto low-carb sourdough discard recipes. And it teaches you how to bring it to life so that you can use this every day in your keto low-carb sourdough baking.
Okay, look at these delicious cookies. Oh my goodness. You can see they're just golden around the edges. You don't want to do too much more than that. And we're going to let them sit for just a minute and then transfer them to a wire rack to cool. Okay. I'm just going to put that this way. Put the wire rack here. And we're going to add these babies to the wire rack to cool. Okay, so let's try this Keto Magic cookie with boosted protein. But before we do this, remember, you got to check out this video because it's another sweet dessert with boosted protein. You're going to love it. Okay, let's see. Sweet and chocolatey, crunchy, chewy. Oh my goodness. Perfect.